Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks. We're at the Sony booth at Mobile World Congress 2016, and I have possibly the most beautiful mid-range smartphone that I've maybe ever seen. It's 5 inches with a 720p display, and usually I don't like 720p displays on smartphones, but I have to admit, this one is really nice. If you just take a look at the viewing angles on that, they've done a really good job at color saturation, as well as, well, just the vibrancy of the display. Now, it does have a 2.5D curved glass, which does add to the aesthetic. Now, Sony is pitching this, as you can see behind me, there's a bunch of like flat lays, which is a lifestyle product. So they're pitching this as a lifestyle product, but like for a mid-range smartphone, it's got an octa-core MediaTek processor, but that they've done an edge-to-edge display on the side here makes it feel super luxury, right? So there's just all these small details that kind of bump this into like a high-end range, even though it has a mid-range spec. 720p display, octa-core processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. Now on the side we have the classic Xperia Z power button. Now this is an aluminum band around the side here. We've got the volume rocker, the hard physical power button for taking photos. Now it's a 13 megapixel camera on the back, but it's a Sony 13 megapixels, so maybe you forgive it a little. We have a micro USB port there. There's a single stereo speaker here. And then around the side, we have the jack for your nano SIM as well as your SD card. I don't want to reboot the phone in case that's going to happen. So on the back, like I mentioned, is a 13 megapixel sensor. We've got NFC here, which is nice. I think that this is actually a polycarbonate back, which is actually fine because the aluminum on the sides just feels so luxury. Now let's just take a look at the display again, because honestly, the 2.5D in combination with the aluminum on the side, if you kind of take a close-up of that just looks really nice. The tooling, how that's kind of come together, it doesn't feel like the specifications indicate, like so mid-range. So this is really kind of luxury and high-end feeling. Now let's just take a look at the camera. So we've got a 13 megapixel camera on the back. So there's that guy over there. Let's zoom in on the plant just to kind of get a feel for what it looks like. Now the Z5 camera was one of the best on the industry for 2015. Now let's see what the processing looks like on this. There we go. Definitely not the same detail that we saw on the Xperia line, but overall the photo quality looks quite good. It's quite natural. Yeah, the colors seem quite natural. Let's take a look at the selfie, which is if you're gonna be launching a lifestyle product like this, right? So you know, for not having slept last night, I look pretty good. So let's just take a photo. So if we think about the Xperia X line that we just took a look at, it definitely doesn't have the same wide angle, but at the same time, I look pretty good for having not had any sleep last night. You can see the detail of my hair looks pretty good. There's some nice skin detailing. Yeah, overall. Oh, and there's me talking. Let's say I was drunk in that photo. It still captured a fair amount of detail. So you do have the light sensor here on the front, and Sony's post-processing on the photos is becoming quickly one of the best in the industry. So we do have HDR as well as the option. Oh, so I was even shooting that in 5 megapixel. Let's just go up to 4.3. So let's just make sure that that's in. Hold on. So that's 9. Let's bump that up to 13. All right. So I mean, the camera is so important on your phone, and especially a lifestyle product like this one, where it just looks so good. Okay, right. So now we've got the full 13 megapixels going. Let's see how you see how it's taking a while to post-process the image. That would be the octa-core processor, actually significantly better in the 4.3 13 megapixel mode when you zoom in on that plant. A lot better. Right. So there's that. There's me. Right. And there's that plant again. Right, so if you do buy this, I might suggest that you do kind of bump into the 13 megapixel 4.3 mode, which gives you a slightly wider field of view there. Now let's just head back into the selfie part, because I think if you're, well, I know I have the pink version. Let's say I'm a lady looking for a selfie. Yes, so there's Yeah, you do have a significantly wider field of view in the 4.3, of course. Yeah, that could have been clearer. All right, so I mean, like, overall, very impressed with how the XA is looking for something that was supposed to be like on the low end. It feels very high end. The combination of the 2.5D and the edge-to-edge display on the sides there, I think, is a really great combination. So this will be out in the summer, and we have no word on pricing, so I can't get too excited about it yet because, well, you need to know how much stuff costs. So I'm Nicole Scott from Mobile Geeks at Mobile World Congress 2016.